Hey everyone, it's February 1st again, so let's celebrate Clark Gable's birthday with another one of his movies. This time, the 1955 Western, The Tall Men, also starring Jane Russell and Robert Ryan. Now, coming into the Montana territory, brothers Ben, Clark Gable, and Clint Allison, Cameron Mitchell, decide to rob Nathan Stark, Robert Ryan, of his bankroll and kidnap him to keep him from turning them in. However, once they get to a cabin where they plan to let him go, without his money obviously, he makes them a job offer where they could help him get a herd of cattle from Texas up to the Montana territory. They accept, and on their way to get the cattle, they run into a group of settlers stuck in a winter storm. They leave after the storm, but upon seeing signs of Sioux Indians nearby, Ben goes back to help the settlers while Clint goes on with Nathan. When Ben gets there, the only surviving settler is Nella Turner, Jane Russell, and so he helps her to get away. Another storm forces them to stop in a cabin, where sparks start to fly until Ben reveals his dream of owning a ranch in Prairie Dog Creek, which differs from Nella's dreams of a better life. Now, when a band of soldiers come, they take them to San Antonio, where they plan to go their separate ways. While there in San Antonio, Ben helps recruit men to go on the cattle drive, and Nella runs into Nathan Stark, who ends up convincing her to go along on the cattle drive. Now, along the way, they all have to face a militant band of Jayhawkers at the Kansas border, along with the group of Sioux Indians on the warpath. Now, The Tall Man was apparently based on a 1954 novel by Clay Fisher. Director Raoul Walsh made good use of location shooting in Sun Valley, Idaho, and the Sierra de Organos and Los Organos Valley near Durango, Mexico, where they had to do all the filming, at least partly how much things had changed in both Texas and Montana in all the time since the events of the story would supposedly have taken place. Now, going into this movie, my biggest reason for wanting to see it was Clark Gable, and it was well worth it, not just because of him. But Clark does indeed give a great performance here as Ben Allison, a real tough guy who takes care of his family and friends as best he can. And of course, he's also still careful about dealing with other people he doesn't quite fully trust. Now, Jane Russell is fun here, bringing some of her sass, especially as she sings the title tune, Tall Men, throughout the journey. And it's usually within earshot of Gable's Ben, with the lyrics changing to reflect how she feels about him at the time. But the scenery with this movie is just absolutely beautiful, and it's a lot of the fun. I do admit, I enjoyed watching the cattle drive a lot too, especially when it came down to the fight between the cattle drovers and the Sioux Indians. But as far as Clark Gable here is concerned, I do think that Robert Ryan's final lines, which were about Ben Allison, just fit Clark Gable so well. And I quote, "There goes the only man I ever respected. He's what every boy thinks he's going to be when he grows up and wishes he had been when he's an old man." Unquote. Now, this is definitely a very fun Western and one I would highly recommend. Now, the movie is available on Blu-ray from Twilight Time as a limited edition with 3,000 total copies available through either ScreenArchives.com or TwilightTimeMovies.com. The new transfer for this Blu-ray is spectacular. Colors work very well and the detail is definitely there, allowing us to see all the wonderful scenery from the location shooting. Easily the best way to see this movie. Now, of course, it's also available on DVD from 20th Century Fox, although I assume that's probably with an older transfer. But the movie is about 2 hours and 2 minutes in length. Well, that's all I have to say on this one, everybody. Thanks for listening, and I hope you'll keep coming back for more.